Joining us now is Congressman Adam Smith of Washington. He's ranking member on the House Armed Services Committee. Congressman, obviously a very solemn weekend with the return of the 6 who were killed, and news today of the 7th member of the U.S. military who's died in this war. I'm wondering what the selection of the new supreme leader says to you about where this war may be headed.
Well, it says that the benefits that we would get from this war are going to be substantially less than the president had hoped. And there's a range. I mean, by and large, he wanted to weaken Iran, but he also said that he wanted regime change. At a minimum, he wanted a regime in Iran that was going to be less hostile to U.S. interests. And it seems increasingly unlikely that this war is going to achieve that outcome. Meanwhile, the cost of the conflict all this was very predictable, by the way. The war has spread to, I think, 14 different countries have been involved in some way in the Middle East. We've seen civilian deaths. We've seen the inadvertent deaths of Iranian civilians with the schoolgirls getting killed. We've seen, obviously, 7 U.S. service members lose their lives. Oil prices are now spiking, so we're going to have a massive economic disruption for the world, certainly, but specifically in the Middle East. All of those costs are going up and up and up, while the benefit that the president, I think, envisioned is becoming less and less likely.
It would appear, certainly with the selection of this new supreme leader, that the policy is not going to change from Iran. Do you, and according to Axios now, there's the Trump administration is considering sending in, or not ruling out, sending in special forces teams to try to secure or dilute Iran's enriched uranium stockpiles, which would be very risky, obviously, and be very difficult. Would you support that?
Absolutely not. And all of this was unbelievably predictable, by the way. I've been on the Armed Services Committee for a while now, and I've been briefed, and we've been examining this problem through multiple different administrations. And one of the things that the military leaders, the ones who are really paying close attention to this, always said was the military objectives are going to be very, very difficult to achieve. I was told repeatedly that there wasn't really a military solution to Iran's nuclear program, that you couldn't eliminate it just with an air campaign, short of overturning the entire regime. And then was told, and that's going to be very, very difficult as well, because the Iranian dream is dug in. All right. It's just one guy at the top controlling everything. There are layers upon layers upon layers. They have the guns, they have the forces. We all knew this. Donald Trump chose to not pay any attention to it for some reason. But we've been talking about this. I get it. Iran is a bad actor in the region. It would be better if they had a better government, certainly better for the Iranian people and better for the region. But that doesn't mean that there was a military solution to it. So that's what we're learning here, is that the cost is enormous. And the ability to achieve those goals is extraordinarily difficult. But again, this was all very, very well understood. And then, as always happens, specifically to your question, you get into a war saying, well, this is what we're trying to achieve. And we're going to do this, this, and this. Bam, we got it done. It's going to be great. Then you get into it and you're like, oh, wow, it's harder than we thought it was going to be. And then you double and you triple down. In this case, I don't see a military option unless, if we want to send 200,000 troops in and do a full-scale Iraq sort of war here. I think we'd have every little bit as disastrous an outcome and not get there anyway. But short of that, this regime is hard to get rid of and remove. And again, this was very well understood by those of us paying attention before Donald Trump foolishly launched this war.
Congressman Adam Smith, I appreciate your time tonight. Thank you.